All right, going live here on two different platforms. Sorry, I'm looking at two different spots in the camera. We just want to film from two different angles. It's all about managing brand and managing expectations. This week, talking about expectations, and I'm a day late on our normal Mindside live experience because I was gone yesterday for my daughter's golf tournament, and my senior Caroline McCabe just finished up her high school career. Really fun to watch. I go never miss, and there's a reason I never miss if I can ever help it. And I'm thankful that my players that I work with and consult with allow me to have that flexibility. My dad never missed, my mom never missed, and I do everything I can to never miss a game or an event of my daughter's. My job, your job, and everything that you do requires so much of your time that many times there's a sacrifice of what it takes. So the sacrifice is a lot of times on your family. And I want you to realize that those decisions that you make in and outside of your events and your job sometimes need to be made to be at the events in the lives of your kids. So I went the last couple of days and walked the course with my daughter, Caroline, who just finished up. And unfortunately, I didn't advance to state, which was a little bit of a shock. It was an upset. But the important thing was, Caroline finished strong. She actually birdied her last hole, which was beautiful to watch. And I'm so proud of her. And to spend 8 years of my life with my kids on the golf course now now that it's over, it was fantastic and a lot of fun and a lot of lessons. I got my daughters involved in golf many years ago because I wanted them to have an ability to go out and play golf in a corporate environment or go out and play golf with their families. To me, golf provides that amazing opportunity to always have a sport you can play for a lifetime. And it doesn't mean that tennis and softball and soccer aren't great. They're fantastic. But to be able to go to dinner or go to lunch with my girls and go out and play golf with them is really cool. So I'm excited that she had the experience that she did. And she's going to go to Auburn now and go major in what she's going to major in and go about her life. Speaking of Auburn, this past weekend, I also had my oldest daughter, Logan's graduation from Auburn. Went down there and was a part of the graduation experience. So cool to see her graduate and finish a 4-year career at Auburn. She's going to go on and get a master's in digital marketing next year at University of Alabama. And if you've watched the performance of the Mindside, one of our great contributors here, Emma Welch, is one of the graduates of that program as well. So you've seen a lot of really good stuff. And so my daughter's going to follow through on that as well. There's always a cool place when I watch both my daughters make this transition in their life. We always look back and you got to ask yourself, did it match what you wanted it to make at the beginning? Did you match your expectations? Your expectations are so difficult because we set so much out there and so much desire, and we identify what's the goal and the target. That unfortunately, many times we bring the anxiety of, I don't know if I can hit that goal into those expectations. And so what happens is during the course of the journey, when you keep taking awareness of where you are in the moment, and you keep looking and looking and looking, am I making it? Am I making it? Am I making it? The anxiety actually restricts you from doing anything and creates more pressure, and you're carrying more baggage. So if you want a goal, you've got a plan that you want to achieve. I got one thing I really want you to do. Blow up your expectations. Get rid of them. Don't expect anything. You have no idea how your journey is going to go. Set your navigation on where you want to go, and then be adaptable. Work through the ups and downs. Stay present. And more importantly, enhance your psychological flexibility in the heat of the moment. Psychological flexibility is something that I believe very strongly that we all have, but we have to find our personal way of being flexible in a scenario. It's about realizing that regardless of what's happening to you, that nothing is going to break you. We've all had horrendous situations in our lives at times. We've all had periods in our life where we felt we were going to be broken. And yet we still persevered. And yet we still made it through. How? When the odds were against us, how did we continue to push through? Well, you did it by fighting the battle in front of you. Not trying to win the war with the battle. You have an opportunity in front of you every single day. And when expectations take over, all of a sudden you're shocked. Think about it this way. I'm going to take you to dinner. And I tell you, man, I got this amazing place that we got to go eat at. Okay. It's the best place I've ever eaten. The steaks are phenomenal. They just cut with a knife, with a butter knife. And the service is incredible. And the whole time you're excited about going, and you start building up in your mind what these expectations are. And now I was describing something in this spectrum, but your mind has raced out to here. And you've created this major bridge that when you go eat at that restaurant, it can never live up to. See, expectations are actually driven by fear and doubt. When you don't believe you can handle the circumstances you're in, you don't know if you can achieve the goals that you're pushing for, you raise your expectations. I see it from my athletes all the time. They get so down on themselves when they struggle. They get so frustrated because they expected to play well because they put in all the hard work. Like that hard work would automatically equate to success? No. That hard work got you prepared to handle anything on the journey to success. You are enhancing your tools, not laying the freeway. See, we have to change our mindset. Your expectations are going to destroy your journey if you continue to define your journey with things you can't obtain. Expectations are a killer. You got to blow them out of the water. And here's what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. It's coming. Yeah, but great athletes, great businesses, they expect greatness. No, they don't expect greatness. They execute on greatness. They see the details of everything that they're doing, and they're constantly getting better. They're constantly working. Great performers don't expect excellence. Great performers demonstrate excellence. Major difference. Great performers work every single day to make what they do better, and they're willing to look at their performance with a very critical lens. But they don't make the critical lens painful. And what I mean by that is when great performers are competing at their best, they see their performance and they step back and they see how they can do it better, but they don't attack themselves personally. When players, competitors, businesses expect results, the only thing you can do is transfer the blame on something external to you or be hypercritical of your own process. And as a result, you lose that war every time by continuing to attack you. Man, I wasn't good enough. I suck at this. You got to be better. And you start adding these secondary emotions and these judgments about yourself over and over and over again. And as a result, in the heat of the moment, you crush your will. You lose the psychological flexibility and you become unbelievably psychologically rigid because you're judging yourself on every step of the way. Just like we go to a great restaurant, I want you to open up your mind for whatever experience you're going to have versus going to a restaurant and believing you got to live up to some Yelp 5-star rating. It happened to us when we went on an amazing trip to Vegas with some dear friends. We went to this place we'd never heard of, and one of my buddies said, man, I got this great place. I've heard about it. It's a steakhouse. I have no idea what it's going to be. Let me tell you, it was off the chain phenomenal. The next night we went to this other place, and he's like, man, this is like one of the highest rated restaurants in the area. We went down, sat down, and when I say it was a false start over and over again, it could never live up to what we had the night before. And second, it never really lived up to what we wanted. Instead of going in there with a free and open mind and not knowing what to expect and enjoying and being purposeful in the entire process, instead what we did is we brought that expectation. Expectations are a killer. Great performers don't expect results. Great performers fight for the results. Great businesses. Like, I want you to think about this, about the image that you create. I just did a podcast with Will Baggett, who is an executive with the college football playoff. And we were talking about this exact same concept. And he's like, in the college football playoff, we have one game to live up to people's expectations. It's a challenge. There's no doubt about it. But he said, our job, we take so much time after the game is over, reviewing everything we do. We don't expect great results. We drive them. And it hit me. It's the difference between going to Disney World and going to Six Flags. See, you go to Six Flags, they've got killer roller coasters, right? They'll tell you all day long, hey, we got these great roller coasters, they'll blow your mind. But what's the overall perspective? It's not ideal. It's not the best. You go to Disney World, the entire story is told around you. The entire experience matches what it takes to be great. A couple months ago, I did a podcast with, oh God, I just lost his name. Anyway, go back into my podcast, and he worked for Disney for many years. I can't believe I just blanked on his name. I apologize. Pete Blank. And Pete talked about what it took to be excellent at Disney. He said, we don't go in with any expectations every single day. He said, instead, we show up with the same commitment of what it takes to demonstrate greatness, and we never vary off of it. See, when you expect, you hope results are going to follow. That will never live up to it. You can't live up to it because when you start struggling, you start adding in your judgment. And the judgment is not how can we do it better. The judgment is almost always, why are you failing in this moment? If you want to be successful, and I work with a lot of highly successful people and organizations, it's about driving the details and seeing the variations from what you want to what you are. Okay, that gap, you want this, you're right here. That gap is not about judgment. It's about refinement. It's about taking the little things that you do and realizing, I'm disappointed I'm not meeting what I believe I'm capable of, but I've got to bridge the gap to make it work. Not, what am I doing wrong? Why am I struggling? Why am I failing? So your expectations have to have an alternative. And the alternative is that psychological flexibility, but more importantly, expectations have to be set into a deep desire of what you want to achieve. You have to be willing to establish what you want. And if you don't do that, then you're open for any kind of transitions and movements around it. See, if you want to be great, you got to do the uncommon things. If you want to be great, you got to make the sacrifices. If you want to be epic, then you must be willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. And let me tell you where the one thing is that people are not willing to do. They're not willing to look at the details of their performances and make them better. Simple. So many people want this super secret recipe of what it takes to succeed. And yet over and over and over again, success is not about the expectations you set. Success is about the fuel of the desire to achieve the little things around you. How you treat people, how you finish the daily tasks, and more importantly, how you execute and follow through. See, you've got all, I think in business, our number one epidemic right now we have in business is not Gen Y, Gen Z, millennials. It's a lack of execution. So many promises, so few follow-throughs. If you say you're going to do it, then do it. If you say you're going to make a phone call, call the person. If you say you're going to do the job, finish the project to the best of your ability. Don't stop along the way. If you want to get better, if you want to have success, if you want to drive results, do the things that other people aren't willing to do. Yesterday, we were coming back from the golf tournament. I go in this gas station, right? And I look around, and I always look around at how organizations are established. Now you're looking at my desk going, oh my God, Brett's desk is exactly what he's not talking about. I'm writing right now, so these are my stacks of writing, but the details of which you project to somebody is really, to me, your ability to have success. What are you projecting when people make their impression and determination of you? Do they see excellence, or do they see somebody who cut the corners? Do they see the results that you were able to execute and follow through, or do they see somebody who always fell short? What I want you to understand in everything you do is the way you drive your desires, the way you drive your determination is going to establish the results on the back end. And as my dad told me a long time ago, if you stick around for the press conference to celebrate, you've missed the entire purpose. Get to work on the next challenge while other people are celebrating. That's what great people who execute do. All right, signing off now. See you guys next Monday. We'll be back on our scheduled time, 9 a.m. Central Time. See you then.